Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck and Cooper, and I'm going to do my February 2025 book haul. So I kind of went a little crazy, and I think there was just things going on that I just used my ability to buy books to kind of alleviate pressure and stuff. So I bought way too many. So there are a lot of books. Some of them I have read, not too many, but I also got some special editions and a Kickstarter that came in. So it just seemed to accumulate. So special editions, I got 4 of them because I got my Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. And then I also got the Black Rose auction set. So we'll just talk about this first. And then I got 41 other books. So this is going to be a long video for those who like book hauls. I don't know how much I'm going to talk about all the books, but there's 41 plus these special editions. So I didn't do very good this month. So anyway, so the Black Rose auction was a Kickstarter put on by Katie Robert and Jenny Nordback, and I've picked up the last couple of them. The first one was like a Goblin Market kind of thing. And then the next one was the pirate one, which I haven't read those ones yet. I need to get to those. And then this one is, well, it's kind of an auction, but it's like fairy tale retellings. So like the Katie Robert one for sure I know is a Red Riding Hood reimagining. Again, these are very sexy times, you know, with fairy tales kind of thing. So I don't know a lot about most of these. So I will try to get to these sometime this year, as well as the other novellas from the last year, because I didn't read those yet. So I do want to get to these, and I did. These are, again, I bought them last year, so they don't count for 2025, but I did buy them. So those ones I'm going to try to read fairly sometime, probably this summer. I think I was planning to make like read those during the summer, like, because I do have the ebooks as well for those. So anyway. And then I'm just going to flash these because I know a lot of people have seen them, but I did buy used or from somebody else the broken binding editions of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, or Tad Williams' first part of the Ostenard series. So again, Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn is my favorite epic fantasy series of all time, and Tad Williams is one of my favorite authors, of course, because of that. So these are just gorgeous covers. I just couldn't resist, and I mean, again, now that I've bought them, I keep getting notices for ones that were sold cheaper, but these ones were still in their wrapping. I did unwrap them or unbox them kind of in you're gonna get in my way, aren't you? He just has to be there because I made space. I got them off eBay, so I keep seeing cheaper ones, but these are just gorgeous. So I'm not gonna flip through them too much Chris now, because the cat is going to get in my way. Because you have to, don't you? Anyway, you will probably see them live right here on my bookshelf forever. Hopefully. Anyway, as I said, I have, they did split up the last one into 2 books because, again, To Green Angel Tower is gigantic in its own right. It should have been 2 books anyway. The paperbacks are already like that, the older ones, the mass markets that I have. They are just, as I said, they are gorgeous. Anyway, and again, they have swords. Anyway, so those, I did spend a lot of money on those to get those, because I just wanted those copies, because again, it's my favorite series of all time, epic fantasy series of all time. And I just had to have them, and I kept looking, and I finally I just bought them just to have them. And it was pretty much my Christmas present from my parents and a little extra, so I'm just going to say that we'll just go with that because I hadn't spent that money on anything specific yet. So that's what I bought. Not that Cooper is letting me showcase them. Anyway, they will be there probably in my background as much as I can, because they are, as I said, they are my new prized possessions for special editions. And it also made me kind of realize that is what we should be. If I want a special edition or a hardback, is going to be like my favorite series, not just random books that are pretty. I need to be more specific. So that does not count for what I just did, but that came about later. So let's go through this book. These stacks are insane. I might have to pause the video at one point for me to move things around because again, now that we've done those, I have 41 books to go through. Let's start with the series, the non-series ones. So my ones that are, well, I don't know if they are going to be a series. There's only one so far that I saw. And there could be more, but who knows. So I have, I think I have one, another translated, kind of feel-good, kind of contemporary. This one is called The Convenience Store by the Sea by Sonoko Machida, translated by Bruno Navasky. So again, I've collected quite a few of these and I've read quite a few. This one is talking about a little convenience store by the sea. So I don't know. It's translated. I like it. Anyway, I did get kind of a horror folk horror. I don't know. Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie. So I saw this on somebody's channel. It sounded really cool about some women who go to this area in England, somewhere where people shouldn't go, and because one her boyfriend went and never came back, another one has to deliver a package, and then the other one is just going because her friends are going. And I don't think it goes well, but I don't know, I've been drawn to that. I don't know why, but I do want to try that. Another kind of weird one is Strange Beasts by Susan J. Morris. So this is a historical fantasy. We're following the daughter of John Harker? Harker who killed Dracula, and then Helena Moriarty, who's the daughter of Sherlock Holmes's nemesis Moriarty. And they're hunting beasts, I think, in Paris's catacombs or sewers or something. I'm not sure, but it sounds like a fun time. I'm really excited for that, and it sounds kind of weird fiction or weird fantasy fiction kind of thing, and it's historical, so it should be fun. I also picked up The Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Qureshi, I think. Anyway, I've heard mixed reviews on this after I bought it, so we will see. And I know it has to do with a woman who has a cafe, a baby dragon cafe, and then she's struggling due to, startup issues kind of thing. And then I think someone has a baby dragon who needs help with it, either while he's working or training it or something, and then they team up. I think it's kind of a romance, but I also don't know. I've heard mixed things now that I bought it, but oh well. Kilt Trip by Alexander Keeley is just a romance of, I think, someone they're in the travel industry. He has a travel company or works for one. I'm not sure how it goes. And then she is supposed to kind of help. Her company helps travel companies, and she doesn't like to travel, and she has something against Scotland because of her history. And so he decides to take her around Scotland to, I think, places that are important to her history or something. And, I don't know, something like that. It sounds cute. I want to read it. I also got Pen Pal by J.T. Gessinger. I'm not sure how you say that. Again, I was trying to pick up a few when I went to the Pals sale at the beginning of the month. A couple of these I picked up just because there were ones that I wanted to try, and when they were on sale, I might as well. Anyway, so I picked this one up because it's more of on the darker side, because this has to do with a woman who gets a letter from somebody in prison, and I think they correspond for a while, but she doesn't really know who he is, and then he gets out, and I think things go from there. I'm not quite sure how it's connected or how it works, but anyway, I was going to try it, especially that author. And then I have, I did buy a used copy of Clarissa by Samuel Richardson. I have an abridged version that I read in college, and I have been wanting to... I've always been upset that it was abridged. I think it was one of the first books that a classic that I read, other than when I was a kid when they gave you abridged versions. But it was the first time when I was scholarly, I was so upset that they clipped it to, abridge it, even though Clarissa is super long. And if we had to read the whole thing in school, I totally get why that didn't work, because I was in a quarter system college, there wasn't enough time to read Clarissa and the other books I had to read. But I've always wanted to go back and reread it, but in an unabridged version. So I got this one. I don't really like it, but you know, hey, I might be able to get through it. As I said, it's one of those books that I've always wanted to go back to, and I found a used copy. So anyway, okay, so now I'm going to do my series books, because I've buried my pre-orders. Well, let's just start. We'll pull the pre-orders next, because everything else is just kind of random. So again, I have a couple of pre-orders from favorite authors. I have The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. So I got his new book. I don't know anything about it. It's just TJ Klune. I think it is it's like 1995 and maybe a little sci-fi, you know. We'll see. I got the next Allie Hazelwood, Deep End. So this is about a diver and a swimmer in college who are both have, I think, Olympic dreams, and they kind of hook up. I don't know. It's a romance, sports romance. I did get The Vengeful Dead, which is book 5 in the Gravekeeper series by Darcy Coates. I have finished this series now because I have read, this is one of the ones I've read. So I really enjoyed this series overall. Again, this is book 5, so it is completed. And I like the way it ended. You know, like I liked it all. So that was pretty good. A book that came in kind of early because I thought it was coming in March is The King's Messenger by Susanna Kearsley. This is a historical fiction following a man who is a messenger for King James I. And I think there might be something to do with, I'm not sure if it's quite like witchcraft or anything, but I know that time period there was things about that. I think he can like see things that he shouldn't be able to, you know, so more psychically. I'm not sure. A lot of her books have that kind of element in it. Anyway, so this is her newest book. Hopefully I'll get to it at some point. This is one of the pre-orders that was kind of on a whim, that I had a couple that popped up that I just tried. And Green Teeth by Molly O'Neill is one of them. This is one of those kind of weird cozy fantasies. It's about she like this creature at the bottom of the lake that you know, like eats whatever, I guess, whatever, and then a witch gets thrown into the lake, and she saves the witch, and then they plot to, I think, get rid of somebody who, you know, of course, tried to kill the witch, I think. Anyway, it sounds fun. I would like to, I guess, again, I just bought that on a whim, or pre-ordered it. It sounded good. I also got Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. This is one of hers that I have not read. I fell to the, oh, it's pretty, and I wanted, you know, a copy, so I did. I just got it. Anyway, so this one is like a fantasy, maybe with some romance elements. I'm not quite sure how much it is, but it's one, you know, it's an older one of hers where a young woman they're trying to force her to marry so that the inheritance she has will pass to a certain family. And she goes to try to escape, or, you know, off herself. And I think she pulls a sword, and the sword, a man appears with the sword. So I don't know. It sounds fun. I've heard really good things about it. It says love is a double-edged sword. So I don't know. Anyway, I think they go on kind of a journey too, but I'm not positive. But anyway, that is one I took a chance on. Not on the author, because I have read her before quite a bit, but I hadn't read that one yet, and I've always wanted to. And then the last pre-order I have, I think, there might be a buried one, I'm not sure, is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. I believe this is the third and final book in this series. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we know for sure. Maybe I won't know till I get to the end of the book. But this is as I said, this has been a fun series, historical fantasy, following Emily, who made, you know, is a scholar. And in the first book, she is putting together her encyclopedia of fairies. And then every book is like things between her and one of her colleagues, Wendell, and them continuing on to different areas. So I really like the last two books, so I'm looking forward to the end of this one. I think it's the end. Well, at least I get to read that book. Anyway, okay, so then I have a lot of other books. I'll do a couple of the ones that I have already read, but these are all series books that weren't pre-orders, or yeah, I think I got it all figured out. So one of them is Forbidden Games by Katie Robert. This is a bind up of the first two books in the Make Me series that she wrote back in like 2018-19. I think they were Harlequins. Dare line, I think. I'm not positive. But I read the first one earlier this month by audio, and then the second one came in and I read that one off. So I do have the second book, which has the next two short books in it. Illicit Temptation, but I mean, I'll have to read those physically because I can't find an audio for those yet. Maybe they'll pop up. I don't know. But anyway, these ones are very much just sexy times, contemporary, with some very successful people in New York. Anyway, I enjoyed it. And again, I like Katie Roberts, so I'm more of a completist that I want to finish everything by her. So that was another series I got to. I did buy a new copy of A Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette because this is the first book in the Kingmaker Chronicles, and I have collected the other books in this series. I've gotten all of these used. This was a used copy as well when I went to Powell's. But I had the mass market paperback of this book, and I decided to get rid of it and have all matching covers, or, you know, size covers and size. So anyway, that was just, this is a fantasy romance, kind of Greek inspired. Was it Greek or Roman inspired? Now I can't remember. But I know this woman, she is what's considered a kingmaker because she can, she has certain powers, and she is found and she is brought to this side of this one kingdom, and it's her with these people who are trying to stay alive from the other countries that are trying to attack. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this. I actually really want to continue this series. I just haven't yet, but I did buy a new copy of the first book so that it matches the other ones I have. It's a 4-book series right now, but the 5th book is coming out in a couple months, I think. So I haven't bought that or pre-ordered that because I want to get farther into the series before I do that. One of my 5-star reads this month, or in February, was Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. This is the first book in the Forever Falling series. I loved this book. This is about a doctor who, her sister is getting married, and they're just having a destination wedding in Mexico. So her and all the wedding party go down an extra week before to kind of chill out, and it's just not chilled out because there's drama between her and her sister, because her sister is marrying her ex-boyfriend and she's over it, but nobody likes to believe that she is over the fact that her and her boyfriend had been broken up for a while before he got together with the sister. So she is kind of stressed out, and Rome is the groom's best man, and he has always liked her and wants to and kind of comes up with a situation where he says, I'll help you relieve stress for the week, you know, we'll just take it, you know, for that. So it's just it's only for the week, you know, and then when everybody gets there, nothing will happen. Well, of course, feelings get caught. I loved this book. I love Rome. He is like my new book boyfriend. I just adored this series, this book, and I can't wait for the next one. I don't know when that's coming, but I will be on the lookout for that. I really enjoyed that. Okay. And then I got a couple books that, I do a whole bunch that are in series that I have started, but I'm still buying books for those series. Anyway, the first one is The Little Sparrow Murders by Shiishi Yokumizo, which is, I don't remember. This is like one of the later books in the Kosuke Kondaichi detective series. So yeah, because I think there's like 6 that have been translated now. Yeah, I think there's 6 that's been translated. I've read 2, and I really want to continue. And then there's a 7th one that's coming out later. I think this series is actually like 20 or 30 books all together, but they were written in the 40s and 50s. I'm not sure what year this one. Yeah, it doesn't tell. Oh, this is actually later. This is actually 71. So he was writing for quite a while. Anyway, but they're mysteries, and in Japan, and they're just like, oh God, cat, he just stabbed me. Let me see here. It's translated by Brian Carnacci, something. I can't say his name. Anyway, but it's translated. So I do want to continue that series this year, but I'm like, as I said, I have like 4 books, or 3 books that 4 books now that I haven't read in that series, so we're working on that. I also have, oh, I have another one that I've read. Okay, well, we'll come back. A couple I've read. A Rebel Without Claws by Juliet Cross is the first book in the Southern Charm series, but this is connected to her Stay a Spell series. This is, I think, the next generation from what I understand. So I'm just expecting good paranormal romance vibes with witches and wolves and or shifters and stuff. I'm not sure what's going to be in this one. I really like the Stay a Spell series, and so I've been looking for. I have need to read some of her. She has a fantasy romance that she brought out last year that I haven't got to yet, but this is a series I definitely want to get into, so hopefully I'll get to that fairly soon. I did read the second book in the what is it, the Coven of Bones series? I can't remember the name of the series. Sorry about that. The first book was The Coven. Yeah, Coven of Bones. Oh, I did remember. Anyway, I really, really enjoyed this series, this paranormal romance series about a witch in the Coven. She has been protected by her mother, but her mother has passed away. And so she is now seen as this powerful witch that must come to this college in order to be trained as a witch for certain purposes. And then things just go wrong from like the get-go, because the man in charge of the thing isn't what he seems. Let's put it that way. She tries to trick him, and then he tricks her, and it's all over the place. Anyway, just fantastic urban fantasy stuff, I think, in this series, and I'm really looking forward to book 3 that comes out later this year. It was just a fun ride. I'm really glad that I got that one. Anyway, sorry. And then a couple that I just bought, actually, and one I've read and one I'm in the middle of, is the next 2 books in the Ruinous Love trilogy. So I just started finally Butcher and Blackbird at the end of the month, and then finished that and went right out and bought these 2 at the end of the month, because I had to have them. So I read Leather and Lark already, and I'm in the middle of Scythe and Sparrow. So these are what I would consider funny, dark romances. I don't know how else to say it. I guess you call them serial killer romances, but they're funny. Like, I laughed out loud during both Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark. I'm not too far into the 3rd one yet. I'm like 40 pages in, so I haven't had a time to laugh too much, but I just adored these. Were just so much fun, and I now see why people were talking about them a while ago, but I just finally got to them. Audiobooks are fantastic for all of them. Highly recommend them, because they are dual narration, because I have those as well. I admit it, I bought copies of both of them, but I just love these, and so I'm so excited to get to the last one and finish the series off. Just great. I really, really enjoyed those, and I would recommend them if you like dark stuff with a funny twist. I really enjoyed that. Okay, let's do a couple more of ones our series I'm in the middle of. So I did finally read Flawless by Elsie Silver. So then after I finished it, I bought Heartless right away, and I read it pretty close, like a couple of days later. So I have already read Heartless, which was great. I really, really enjoyed it. Again, these are cowboy romances in Alberta, Canada, and they are all take place in the Chestnut Springs series. So in the Chestnut Springs area, of the series. That's the name. Anyway, so I still have to read Powerless. I'm really, really looking forward to this. I will read this really soon. Then Reckless, and then Hopeless. So I'm hoping to read all those, but I had a gift card at the time when I bought those last 3, that I also picked up the first 2 books in her Gold Rush Ranch series, which is Off to the Races and A Photo Finish. There are 2 other ones, I think, at least, and I haven't bought those yet. So my plan is to finish Chestnut Springs, and then I will go back to these, because I adore her writing style so far, and I really enjoy her characters and the families and stuff and that, and I'm really excited to continue on. So I did buy Multiple books. See, that's why I just bought too much this month. Another series that I read the first book of that I had bought previously last year and then wanted to continue after I've read that book is the Sparrow Falls series by Catherine Cowles. I read Fragile Sanctuary and really, really enjoyed it. So I wanted to get Delicate Escape and Broken Harbor. So I pre-ordered book 4, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. It's one of my pre-orders. Anyway, so these are romantic suspense novels. So there is a mystery in as well as the romance, and it's a small town in Oregon. So I really enjoy how it was going so far, and I'm excited for these books for the characters who are in here that we've already met in the first book. And I hope to continue this series right away too. But again, I bought multiple books in this series that I've read the first book of. So, and then this last stack is all first books in series that I haven't read. Now, one of them, well, it's buried, but one of the books I do have multiple books, but I had already bought those, but I'll get to that story. But most of these are just the first books in series that I only have the first book. Anyway, I got Loved Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This is the first book in the Lakefront Billionaires series. So I've heard a lot about Lauren Asher. I wasn't sure about the Dreamland Billionaires. Is that the name of the series? About some of the tropes in there. So I didn't want to start with that one. This one sounded more kind of what I wanted to do. They were kind of rivals, I guess, when they were kids. And then, she's going to help him redesign something. I don't remember now. But anyway, again, it's a billionaire romance. I wanted to try one. And Lauren Asher, because I hadn't done that yet. As I said, I'm kind of excited to try that at some point. I picked up Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller. This is the first book in the Monsters and Muse series. So I got the copy from the library. And it was one of those ones where the days I went and got the library, I got like 4 or 5 books from the library and I didn't have time to read them, but I wanted to try them. And this is one of the books that I tried the first couple chapters and I'm like, oh, I'm buying that. So I bought a copy right away, just so I could give it back to the library and then I'd have my copy because I didn't have time to read it. But this is a mafia one where the guy is like a doctor that's connected to the mafia. And then she, of course, is the daughter of somebody, and I think it's like a dark romance from what I understand. But I liked the way the beginning started. Like I read the first couple pages and I was intrigued. I just didn't have time to read it, so I do want to try this series. I haven't heard a lot about that one, but I've seen it around, but I gave that a try. I got Kit McBride Gets a Wife by Amy Berry. So I think this is the first one in this series. I keep thinking, because I was talking about the McBride brothers. So it's a historical, I think they're in Montana. Yeah, this family's in Montana. And the sister is like done taking care of her older brothers and taking care of the house and them thinking that she has to do everything. So she sends away for a mail order bride for her older brother. I believe that's what it is. So I heard about this from Books Love Jenna. So I will have her link down below. And I've been wanting to try it because I haven't tried a mail order bride one. Maybe I have and I'm not thinking of one. But it sounded cute. So anyway, that's another. But I think it's a series. I'm not positive on that one, but I thought it was. And then this one I picked up also just recently. It's called The Spare by Ava Ronnie. And this is the first book in the Biotech Billionaires series. So I saw this on Brittany Loves Books. No. Brittany Loves Reading. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't remember. Brittany was talking about this and I'll have her link down below. My brain I can't think right now. Too many books, too much stuff to go through. This is, again, there's the first 2 books are out in this series and it's following Indian American family. So I thought that was kind of cool. And they're running a big business and she has always felt she's the second. So her brother is the heir. And so she's always felt kind of, in the shadow. And so she wants to prove herself. And I think she is going to try to do something with the company or show that she can do something with. And then she has a rival with who is her brother's best friend. And I'm not sure what happens, but she was raving about it. I've been thinking about it. It was on my list. And then I went to Barnes & Noble to get the Ruinous Love Trilogy, the last 2 books, and I was like, yeah, I picked that one up too. So we're gonna try that. I did pick up Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This is a sports romance, college age, and I think it has to do with 2 people who have to share the ice, and then something happens. I don't know. I mean, I've heard good things about this series, the Maple Hills series, so I thought I'd give it a try. As I said, like this and Deep End by Allie Hazelwood, I don't read much college romances, sports romances, but I have a couple on my shelf as well as these ones, so I think I should read them. But this is one of the ones I got used when I was at Powell's, so I took a chance on that one. I picked up Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriu. I'm not sure. This is the first book in the Heavenly Bodies series. So again, this was indie published and then got picked up traditionally. And I've heard just so many good things about it. I don't know a lot about it. I know it has to do with stars, or I'm not sure. Something to do with, people who are star-crossed, but things go wrong. I think it's a fantasy romance. I've heard really good things about it, so I picked it up when it was on sale at Powell's. I mean, it was like full price, but then there was the sale going on, so that's why I bought that. So we're going to try that. So if you've read that, let me know. And then this is one that I have multiple books of, but not here. So The People Immortal by Vasily Grossman. This is translated by Robert Chandler and Elizabeth Chandler. So this is supposed to be the first book in the Stalingrad series by this author. I have Life and Fate and Stalingrad already in my in my closet, like with my literary fiction stuff, because I think these are historical fiction. And I was looking up, when I was doing my book inventory, I found out that there's a book that comes before them. And it's a lot smaller. Those ones are gigantic. Those are over 800 pages. Those ones, I don't know, they're huge. And then this one's a lot smaller. So I think I'm going to start with this one. And again, this is talking about, during World War, pretty sure it's World War II. Yeah. So this takes place in 1943. And it's set during the time of the first months of the German invasion of the Soviet Union. So anyway, I wanted to try that out and see, because if I don't like this one, then I can get rid of all my books. Because again, those are gigantic, but I do want to try it. But I thought I better get the first one in that series, which I didn't even know about until I looked it up. The other one I got used was The Phoenix King by Aparna Verma. So this is a fantasy that I've heard a lot of the good things about, but I don't know a lot of, anything about it. But it's Indian inspired, fire magic and ancient prophecy. So I don't know, but I've heard people talk about this. Did I see that the second book was coming out soon? I'm not sure. But again, I shouldn't be buying books that are fantasies right now because I'm not reading just normal fantasy. I mean, I'm reading more urban fantasy, paranormal romance, and fantasy romance. But this one has intrigued me, so I got it because I found it on sale. I also picked up the Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicola. This is the first book in the Gods and Monsters series. So I think it's an urban fantasy, and she's the morally gray character. I'm not positive. I've gotten kind of confused on which book was which, but I've heard so many people talk about this one over the years, and I finally just broke down when I had a gift card and could pay for part of it at least. So I guess we'll see. I don't know. We'll find out. There's a certain point this month where I was just buying willy-nilly. This is one I'm really excited to try, which is Empire of Shadows by Jacqueline Benson. So I have not heard anything about this, but I saw this briefly on social media somewhere, and I don't remember. And it's Raiders of the Arcana Book 1. So this is like The Mummy and Romancing the Stone put together. So there's this woman, I think this is, as I said, historical fiction, like Victorian age. And Ellie wants a job in archaeology and stuff, but it's not going right for her. And she finds some map, and then she enlists the help of a map something. Sorry, my throat's starting to go. A surveyor. So anyway, I should have brought my drink over. I'm dying here. We're going to try to finish. Anyway, so this sounds like a great adventure, and there might be romance. I'm not sure how. There'd probably be slow burn because there's a couple books, there's at least another book that's out already. So I do want to try this one really soon. I just don't have time right now, but it sounds fun. Because again, I love The Mummy, and I love Romancing the Stone was a movie that we watched a lot when I was a kid. So, you know, it was just one of those ones that played on the TV all the time. And then the last book, I think we've come to the end, as I have Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, which is an Into the Darkness novel. I believe this is the first one. Again, this is another what I would call the dark romances with serial killer vibes, but I think it's not quite the same. This one is, I think it has some stalkerish stuff and some weird cosplay kind of thing with being masked up. I'm not sure. I hear the audiobook's really good too. I'd gotten that on an Audible sale at some point. So I bought the book just because I was somewhere and it was on, I had money. I don't know. Anyway, but now that I've read Butcher and Blackbird, now I'm really excited to try this one too. So we'll see when I get to this one, but that's another one that's the start of a series that I could try. So that is all the books that I got in February, which is insane. I don't usually buy that many books in a month except around my birthday or if I've gone to a library book sale, but I spent more money this month than I have in a really long time on books, especially if you count my special editions of the In Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. So I have to be really not buy so much in March due to other commitments with my money. So this is probably, hopefully I won't have another big book haul like this for quite a long time, but I'm really excited about like almost all these books like I want to read right now. Some of them I have to wait because of other books that I have in front of them. But I am trying to read my series books this year. I mean, I always try to read series books. I mean, I bought a lot of series books, as you just said. I do have a good stack of standalones too, but we will see. Anyway, if there is anything in here that you think I definitely need to pick up sooner rather than later, give me some directions. Let me know which ones you really enjoyed, which ones you think I need to prioritize. Because again, I have bought too many and it'll take me a while to get through these. Even though I read a lot, I still buy way more than I can read, which is a great problem to have. But next month's will be a lot less. I'm gonna so it's going. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye.